Shalom. This is your brother Nahalia from the GMS Orlando camp. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah. And a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwat, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. All right, and this is a lesson through the Spirit on Zechariah chapter 5 and verse 5 through 11. All right, and for those who don't know, Yahweh is the name of the one they ignorantly call God. Yahweh Shai is the name of the one they ignorantly call Jesus. Bahashim is in the name. Akiyam is brothers, and Akwath is sisters. All right, without further ado, Lord willing, this be edifying. So this is Zechariah chapter 5 and verse 5. And it reads, Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, Lift up now thine eyes and see, what is this that goeth forth? And I said, What is it? And he said, This is an ephah that goeth forth. He said, Moreover, this is their resemblance through all the earth. All right, we're going to continue. And it says, And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. All right, so let's stop here. Okay, so we're going to first deal with ephah. All right, so we're going to go to ephah. All right, and ephah here in the Hebrew in verse 6 is ephah or Iyafa or Iyapa, and it says a dry measure of quantity equal to 3 seahs, 10 omers, the same as the liquid measure bath, about 9 imperial gallons. Rabbinical writings give sizes of 1/2 this amount, the receptacle for measuring or holding that amount. So we're going to deal with definition B, because basically what the ephah is in reference to is a measure. It's a measurement, right? It's a way to measure something. Now, as we continue, it says in verse 7, And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. All right, now let's deal with lead. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 1, and I'm going to jump down to verse 21. All right, and it reads, How was the faithful city become an harlot? It was full of judgment, righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers. Thy silver is become dross, thy wine mixed with water. Thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves. Everyone loveth gifts and followeth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them. All right, so in this verse, on verse 22, you can see that the silver has become dross. All right, now when we go into Isaiah, the first chapter, we get that word for dross. All right. So we're going to jump down to verse 22. We're going to get that word dross, and that is shayag. All right, and it says a moving back or away, dross usually of silver, in the sense refuse, scoria. It says a moving back or away. What is removed from metal? All right, so it shows a degrading of a silver, the silver being degraded. All right, and that's basically the Lord calling the faithful city degraded. All right, you can also link that with Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, of the noble vine becoming degenerate. All right, so when you think about lead, it's a degenerate metal compared to silver and gold. All right, so let's go. This is Ezekiel chapter 22 and verse 18, and it reads, Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead in the midst of the furnace. They are even the dross, of silver. All right, and that just goes to show you, all right, that the lead is considered that degenerate, all right, alluding to Zechariah 5, all right, as well as Isaiah, the first chapter. Back to Zechariah 5. All right, and we're going to continue because verse 8 breaks it down. All right, and it says, and he said, this is wickedness. All right, and he cast it into the midst of the ephah, and he cast the weight of lead upon the mouth thereof. All right, then lifted I up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out two women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. Now, you notice at the beginning it was one woman, all right, and that woman, of course, is Israel, all right, the nation of Israel. This is Jeremiah 6:2. I've likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. Now, when you get down to that next verse, all right, that verse 9, it says, then lifted I up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out two women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. So these two women, all right, are likened unto, all right, the northern and southern kingdom. All right, so let's go here. Salakia. All right, so this is Salakia. Let me just do this. All right, so this is Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 8. All right, and the reason I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. All right, so these two women, all right, is the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom of Israel. All right, so when we go back to Zechariah 5:9, again it reads, then lifted I up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out two women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, whither do these bear the ephah? Now keep in mind, verse 8 says that it's wickedness. All right, the ephah is wickedness. So it's basically the wickedness of the nation of Israel, all right, northern and southern kingdom. All right, verse 11 reads, and he said unto me, to build it an house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there upon her own base. So what that means is basically northern and southern kingdom were carried away into Shinar. Now let's go here, and we're going to get what Shinar is. All right, Zechariah 5. I'm going to jump down to the bottom. We're going to get Shinar. Before I do that, take a look at this. NLT verse 11 reads, he replied, to the land of Babylonia, where they will build a temple of the basket, and when the temple is ready, they will set the basket there on its pedestal. So this gives you a clue of what Shinar is, okay? So let's go to the word Shinar. All right, and it says Shinar, country of two rivers, the ancient name for the territory later known as Babylonia or Chaldea. All right, Strong's definition says Shinar, a plain in Babylonia. All right, Shinar equals Babylonia. All right, so when you look at the woman being carried away, the two women, really, all right, because it says again in verse 9, and behold, came out two women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. So these two women were basically carried away into Babylon. All right, and that's representation of the northern and southern kingdom going into Babylon the Great, all right, the daughter of Babylon, to serve their captivity. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. And it reads, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives, held them fast. They refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Now, if you understand the history, all 12 tribes did not go into the ancient Babylonian captivity. Only the southern kingdom did. So in verse 34, when it says, disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon, that's speaking of the daughter of Babylon. All right, and this is how we're able to understand that basically what the Lord was saying was that the tribes will be carried away into captivity for their iniquity. All right, because again, in verse 8, it talks about the ephah, saying this is wickedness. All right, lead is a degenerate metal compared to gold and silver. All right, and the two women, all right, represents the northern and southern kingdom, and the woman, all right, is Israel. All right, so it starts off with the woman being Israel, and then it breaks off into the split between Israel and Judah. All right, but we're both in the land of our captivity. All right, so I just wanted to go through that through the Spirit to break that down, and Lord willing, this was edifying. I just wanted to be as quick and efficient as possible. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rukakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.